Got the boys in. I got Lloyd. We got J Mitch. We got Jackie Boyd.
He tried to jump up and he might have knocked it in.
Good timing. Let's go. What a start to the Monday. I mean, I'm from Lafayette. My boys will come in and say,
oh, God. So me and Joe on the ground. I got Joe in the headlock. And he's sitting there. He's punching me in the stomach like, punching me.
Here, there's everyone sitting around. Who here thinks Ochenko can practice today after having 5 full beers? And he goes, Chad Jones, right? Chad doing 6 minutes. For 7 minutes, right? Chad's like, no, man, I don't think Ochenko can practice today. And I was like, I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I saw you there. You're more fucked up than me.
On the spirit plane had some issues, I think. She was sleep farting.
you heard her or you just thought it was her?
I sat right next to her. I smelled it.
Whoa. What was that?
Good show.
Now, when you do go to spring training, are you gonna bring your chinchilla and your turtle? My dad tell you about it.
The SEC is God, they hate fat people. I mean, I get crushed for that. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man.
Hey, just the South, bro. You got a bunch of food down here. Like they should.
Look at Lloyd.
You know what, Lloyd?
You're looking for a recruiting coordinator, coach. I'm here.
He's like, I'll piss my pants right now.
No way.
We're wearing gray pants, long gray pants. He goes, I'll piss my pants right now.
He's not happy. He's not happy.
Hello. Welcome back to Mik'd Up. Today is Friday, February 7th. As you can see, Lloyd is already on one right now.
It's the weekend, baby.
Lloyd is
Healthy.
he's very healthy. Lloyd has been typing my name in Twitter and just laughing at me the whole time. So
I gave you some flowers.
No, you did. Mostly laughing though.
Well, J. Mitch, it was. Who was the top 10 Rays that not named Mikie Mitch? And the next one, Mikey Mahtook. The next one, who's the worst player in MLB history? Mikey Mahtook. I still want my money back for having to see him play baseball multiple times. He got all the flags. He's like, damn, never mind.
I was like,
man. Good to God.
I said, there's definitely those on there. I can promise you that.
And this man tweeted it in January 29th, 2025, like he hadn't forgotten.
Oh, that was recent.
Yeah.
Damn. Where's that guy from? Detroit?
That's so crazy.
Where's that guy from? Detroit?
Yep. MSU Chad. Proud Michigan State dropout. Arizona State. Nice guy. Tries hard. Loves the game.
Didn't love me.
That's his last tweet.
Sorry, Chad. Sorry to disappoint you, buddy.
That's Mikey and Mitch, Chad.
Wish I could have been better for you, but we are here on this beautiful Friday in our studio here at Indigo. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, Loosey Goosey Friday. Super Bowl is on Sunday. All the festivities are happening right now in New Orleans. I got to drive down there yesterday. Didn't really get to go in the city. Had to play in a charity golf tournament for Steve Gleason, which was awesome. I did. I was asked, so I did it. You don't tell Steve no. And it was very, very entertaining. A lot of people were there. Obviously, a lot of companies that had teams. A lot of the quote-unquote celebrities. A lot more celebrities than I was. Met Tucker Wetmore, a country singer. He was playing in the tournament.
You have to be more famous than Tucker Wetmore.
Oh, no. That guy's, like, killing it in the country music scene right now.
Jared,
Like-
do you know who that is?
He's like this new, like, up-and-comer. He's got, like, 3 number ones out there. Number ones, like, top hits that are on the radio.
I never heard his name before.
So, he's a younger guy.
Respect, but I haven't.
Real good. He's real good friends with Paul Skeens, I found out yesterday. Of course. You know, because they're both young up-and-comers in their industry. But it was a fun event, obviously, for
Both
a very
love
good,
the military, no doubt.
Yeah, for a very good cause. You know, no white flags. Steve gave us a speech. So I was down there. I didn't really get to feel the energy of the city, but that specific event was really cool. My sisters work in New Orleans in the liquor business, and they've been taking full advantage.
The what business?
The liquor business. One's in the liquor, one's in the wine. So they're both a lot of parties, a lot of you're an idiot. You're so stupid. You're so stupid.
Oh, man.
But they, you know, they're going to the Sports Illustrated party tomorrow. They just they tell me they've called me every day to rub it in my face of all the cool things they're doing, saying that the energy in New Orleans is awesome. They're seeing a ton of people. Obviously, all the yachts are out there in the riverfront. So New Orleans is booming right now. New Orleans is having a good time, and they're showing off, which is really good. Jameis Winston's out there putting on a show. I want Jameis back in New Orleans. I don't want to talk too much about that because we're going to get to that later in the show. One of my all-time favorite players because of his personality. We're going to go through the rest of the highlights of the show. We're going to talk about SEC baseball preview, talk a little bit about that. You know, obviously Friday's a short show. With the Super Bowl on Sunday, we're going to talk about our gambling picks. We're going to talk about not necessarily who we think we're going to win or lose, but the Super Bowl is known for the props, baby. We're going to put some props in there and see how many we can get. I think we should put a team
Mik'd prop parlay?
No doubt. No doubt. I think we got to do that today on the show. Kansas City opens, or they are 1.5-point favorites to win, to three-peat. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Obviously, we're going to give our flowers and talk about all of the awards that happened. Jaden Daniels, Rookie of the Year. They had three of LSU players from the same team, all up in finalists for Offensive Rookie of the Year. Jaden Daniels wins it, not unanimous. One voter did not vote for him to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year, which pretty nuts that you wouldn't.
Do you think it's the same guy that didn't vote for Ichiro Suzuki to win?
It should be public.
Well, he's running.
It should be public. Like, who you vote for should be public, because why are you high? Like, you should be proud of who you're voting for as the best player in that category.
Yeah,
right?
everybody has a Glenn Goldbow in their community. Everybody has to. There's always a heel.
Yep. Staying on the baseball news, did LSU baseball accidentally announce the rotation? I don't know. They come out with a tweet. Obviously, their top 3 starting pitchers, ranking-wise, by D1 Baseball, they released them, and there's the 3 names that everybody anticipated being in the starting rotation. We're going to get into that, and then obviously we're going to have a conversation a little bit about the whole Greg Brooks Jr., LSU, Brian Kelly conversation. Obviously, that's starting to heat up a lot. That is starting to gain, not starting to. It has, been in the news cycle over the last 3 days, and it doesn't seem like it's going to go away. So, or it's going to slide off into the sunset. This is only going to get worse and more pronounced. So we will obviously have a conversation about that. So, Jay, how we doing, man?
Oh, man, we living, man. It's a great, nice little Friday. Got some sun out here. It's a good day today, you know. Baseball's right around the corner. Super Bowl's this weekend. Props is on deck. I'm good, man. I'm living, you know.
Let me ask you this. You said the weather's sunny. Weather's been nice. Are we? You think you think you have one more cold little like spell coming out, or do you think we're done with the cold? I hope we're done with the cold.
I kind of think we're done. I mean, it's kind of warm right now, man. I think we might be done.
As I say that, I think we got one more little
nip
at the end of the February. One more little nip.
I can take it. I mean, I had to kind of force hoodies into the rotation this year because it was not cold at all.
Yep.
So I wouldn't be mad about it, but I kind of think we're done.
A couple years ago, couple years ago, St. Patty's Day. Remember it was sleeting. Do you remember that day? It was cold and sleeting, in St. Patty's Day. Kind of wild. Not great.
I don't really do much for St. Patty's, bro, so I don't really know nothing about that.
Yeah. Not anymore. You don't do much anymore. You know what I mean?
that was the time.
I mean, that was honestly, if there was one St. Patty's Day to.
Did he freeze
do
it? Is he frozen right now? What you look like? Yeah.
That was it. If there was one St. Patty's Day, that was it. That was probably the best one. It'll never be topped. It was 2 years in the making. That was when COVID, and they had a long layoff.
Shout out Jack Bash.
And the
power went out.
And they
tarps off at 9:30 in the morning.
Yeah, they did it big, and I enjoyed it. I'll be out there again in the number this year.
Jared had his sunglasses on inside, and the power was out. So
the power went out.
For you. I ain't never seen a 5-star fall like that.
I don't know nothing about that.
Hey, what you got on Josh Allen MVP? Good with it?
No.
I mean, he had a great year.
Yeah.
I'm not not good with it, but I'm not sure it's the most deserving.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, at the end of the day, you had a team, a division winner, a great team. Like I don't have a problem. Like I don't think he played like not MVP type of ball. It's hard for me to sit here and say that basically what you're trying to say is that he had more of an impact on his team than the other one did. I don't know if that's true to say. And we can also sit here and say, well, you do realize Josh Allen got to play the Dolphins. He got to play the Dolphins twice. He got to play the Jets twice, and he got to play the Patriots twice.
Right. No
Who
doubt.
did Lamar get to play?
No doubt.
So, there's so many things. Yeah, I get it. It's not just stat-based, if you will, right? But when you put those things into the stats as well, I'm like, man, when the stats are kind of this far as they are, which they are pretty far in a situation, it's hard for me to give it to Josh. But at the same time, the man was incredible this year. So, there's nothing to be taken away from it. And then on top of that, once again, I think it's hard to sit here and say that we've turned the award into a quarterback award. We've given the award to a quarterback, but the quarterback that won it was also not the first team all-pro quarterback. That just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So all of that together is just weird to me.
Yeah, that's happened. I think a lot,
First time it's happened since 1986.
Right. Do you know, so... I'm with you. I think both were deserving of it. I think that, I have no problem Josh Allen winning it. I think that he was MVP. I think it just so happened to be that there's two guys that...
Yeah, it's voter fatigue.
Right? But at the same time, if you go by... So based off of the criteria that they used last year in the voting, right? Not necessarily... they didn't really necessarily look at the stats. The two guys that were up for the MVP last year, Lamar Jackson won it because they... leaned on they had a better team, better record type thing, right? The stats of Lamar were good, not like his other two MVP seasons.
They were better.
Not last year.
No, I'm talking about this year.
I know.
I'm sorry.
I know. But I'm just saying, last year, based off the criteria how they voted, it seems like they kind of leaned that way again this year. It's almost like, remember when Delpit won the Thorpe the year after he should have won the Thorpe?
Yeah, this is dangerous territory that they're getting in if that's what
right?
they're going to do.
But I'm not saying that's what they did it, but maybe they felt like Lamar, maybe someone else probably should have won it last year, even though Lamar was great.
Who was
statistically?
Do you know who the number 2 behind him was last year?
No, who was it?
Dak.
Oh.
He did have better stats.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, he had better. But if I remember correctly, I think the Ravens they only had 2 losses. They went on this goofy winning streak to end the year.
No doubt.
So, that wasn't really the case in this year.
I mean, the Bills, what was the Bills' record?
They had 1 or 2 games that I think they were I think the Ravens had 5 losses, and I think the Bills had I think they had 3 losses, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, so that's,
But once again, like we said,
they were 13 and 4.
The Bills also played the Dolphins twice,
the
Patriots twice. So
I know, and that's not, and that's the other thing. They don't control their schedule. They got to play who's on the schedule, and so, like I said, I don't think you could have gone wrong with anyone. But congratulations to Josh Allen, win the MVP, finally gets one.
Yeah, it did feel like a little bit of a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah,
you've been here a lot.
Yeah,
This sucks for you
I agree
that you
with that.
keep losing to
Like,
the
hey,
Chiefs.
we kept telling you you're one of the most talented players in the NFL, but you turned the ball over too much, and then this year you didn't turn the ball over, and you did all the other things that you have been doing. Okay, we're gonna give you your flowers for it. Congratulations.
I'm sure he doesn't care.
Right.
What?
I'm sure he doesn't care about that MVP.
No, he definitely does.
You think so?
No, he definitely does. He got $1.5 million richer, so he cares.
Yeah, $1.5
If
million
nothing else,
bonus.
he cares about that.
Well, I'm just putting it in context of Cam Newton.
But Cam Newton cares about it.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I bet you if you'd asked Josh Allen, hey, would you rather win the Super Bowl
That's
or
what I was saying.
MVP, he probably would say, I'm going to win the Super Bowl. No doubt. But
I think Cam says that now because of where he's at in his career now. I don't think Cam would have ever said that, never felt that way. But Cam's so bold and doesn't really care, and probably switched his thinking that he's like, you know what? Y'all not about to keep judging me on if I'm great, if I got a Super Bowl win or not. I did this. I really think that's where Cam got to in his head.
Let me give you a blind resume real quick. Player A, 3,731 passing yards, 28 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Player B, 4,918 yards.
I know what you're doing.
43 touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
The player A is Josh Allen. Player B is Joe Burrow. I get that. You also have to add the 14 rushing touchdowns that Josh Allen had too, if you're going to do that.
Do I?
I mean, that's part of the stats.
Well, then I can add the 1 rushing touchdown Joe Burrow had.
No doubt. Listen, I don't think there was any argument that he was the best.
Actually, 2.
I don't think there was an argument that he was the best quarterback in the league.
Shocking he won comeback player of the year.
Was it shocking?
Well, considering the criterion.
But he was hurt.
It was.
Yeah, he's the type that's supposed to win it. I think the ones they try to put out.
It's like Joe Flacco. Like, oh, you had a bad year, then you had a good year, but you played all year.
Yeah, like the Sam Darnold's is the one they trying to put out of that situation where it's like either you had a bad year or you've never really been shit, and then all of a sudden you are shit. That's when they I think that's the ones they don't want to win it.
Is that not? I feel like that's in my mind. That's what the award is. That's a comeback. I know they changed the criteria because of a certain player.
Yeah, but I think the comeback.
This would have been the year for him to win it.
I think the comeback.
DeMar Hamlin played well.
To me, yeah.
He actually played.
To me, I think the criteria is, damn, you
battled through adversity,
were hurt or didn't play or weren't on the field, and then you came back from that, and then that's the comeback. But yeah.
43 touchdowns.
Yeah, the comeback to me, I'm 100%. I agree with that, dude. Comeback to me means you were not you were legit not capable of competing, and then you did what you did. Not like you sucked for a couple of years and all of a sudden you finally started playing well. I think
that could be the rebound player of the year.
You rebound another one.
You should make another. You rebounded off of that year.
The Charles Barkley.
Yeah, Charles Barkley Award.
The round mound of rebound. But I don't want to get into it this much because it's just kind of silly, but I don't agree at all. I think that it's almost more impressive to be as written off as Sam Darnold was, and then to come back and have the year that he had. That's comeback player of the year to me, to where you're
it is impressive. That don't mean you win comeback player of the year award. It's 100%.
Joe Burrow hurt his wrist.
But you didn't come back because you had all the opportunities that everybody else had last year, and you didn't play. So you didn't really come back. You just were not good enough. What did you come back from?
Being bad.
The bench?
Yes.
The bench?
Where
did you come back from?
Pick me a winner, Bobby. That's so much more impressive than, you're sidelined because you're hurt.
I disagree.
Unless it's I think this is getting lost in the sauce of what happened because of DeMar Hamlin. That's totally different. The man died and came back, and I get it. He should have probably won it last year, even though he played a snap, and it was a 4th down conversion that he didn't get. And if he did get it, give him.
So what did Joe Flacco come back from?
Being bad. What a reclamation. He came. That's Jesus Christ rolling the rock away and being 3.
For 16 years. He's been in the league for 16 years. He ain't been bad. He's old. That's different.
How impressive is that he could come?
It is impressive. I just don't think that
is
if it happened in baseball.
It's not comeback. It's impressive, but it's not comeback.
That's all. Then how would you describe it?
Rebound.
It's not. You didn't come back from shit. You didn't miss.
You just had a better year.
You can't come back if you don't miss. When you miss school, you come back to school. You didn't miss. You were there. You were present. You didn't come back.
Yeah, but you was in class, but you weren't making A's. Now you're you're at the top of the class.
But that's why it's not a comeback.
It's not a comeback.
Reclamation Player of the Year award.
Yeah.
Your performance rebounded and bounced back, but you didn't come back.
Bounce back player of the year.
Bounce back player of the year.
Bounce back player of the year.
There you go. That's what it should be. Bounce back player of the year. There you go.
So bounce back player of the year goes to Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold.
Yeah. Yeah.
Comeback player of the year. That's it. We just figured it out. Call Roger Goodell. Tell him what to do. Bounce back player of the year. That's a good one. Good job, Jay. Way to get that. All right, before we get into the baseball conversation, before we get into the betting conversation, let's have a conversation about what's kind of going on through at LSU right now. Obviously, it was a Good Morning America, right? Has a special on Greg Brooks Jr., which obviously extremely sad situation. He is battling. He has an uphill battle to try to live the most normal life he could possibly live. Had brain cancer. Obviously, everybody knows the story. But now there's a lot of back and forth between Greg Brooks' family and attorneys and LSU and Brian Kelly, basically saying Brian Kelly forgot about him, didn't really care about him, didn't visit, didn't talk to him, went there one time and hasn't spoken to Greg Brooks Jr. in a year and a half or whatever it is.
It's 2023.
And then Brian Kelly comes out and makes a statement basically saying that's not true and talks about how he has visited him multiple times. And then the attorney comes back and refutes that as well. So it's a messy legal situation right now. No matter how you want to spin it and twist it and talk about it, it doesn't really look good for LSU and Brian Kelly. And it's just another ding to, I don't want to say, I guess, reputation or personality. People obviously don't really love Brian Kelly just in the general public. Easy to not like, which whether that's fair or not, that is the situation.
That's
and
his reputation.
This does not really help that. But what are y'all's feelings on that?
It's a very sensitive subject. One side saying one completely different thing, the other side saying another completely different thing, and the truth probably sits somewhere in the middle, or at least that's how it usually goes. I personally hope for the best to come out for not only Greg Brooks, but for LSU and all parties involved. Obviously, there's not something that anybody wants or has to or wants to deal with, and this doesn't shine a good light really on anyone in this situation. So for me, I guess I don't have a dog in the fight, but what I do want is for the institution that I obviously played for and gave a lot of sweat, blood, and tears for to come out on the better side of it. And if that means you have to rectify your wrongs, and you go ahead and do that, but it's just an ugly situation, an unfortunate situation. And you hope for someone like Greg Brooks, who meant so much to that LSU team, and it meant so much to him to come back from Arkansas to be able to play for his home state team, for it to end and be in such an ugly spot as it is right now. Yeah, it's unfortunate to kind of see it play out.
Lloyd, I know you've had a lot of conversation about this. You had, on your show this morning.
That's right. The Genesis.
The what?
That's
Genesis.
right.
Yeah.
Exodus, Numbers, Deuteronomy.
Yeah. On your show, you had a conversation about it this morning. So what are your thoughts?
I tend to lean a little bit towards, it's such a sensitive situation where it's hard to make any definitive declaration of to what is right and wrong. But I do think in my heart of hearts that there is an easy way to kind of define what happened and what was probably, like Jared said, people say there's two sides to a story. I believe there's three. There's your side, my side, and the truth. And I think that somewhere there is the truth, and I think it would have been easier to find the truth had this not played out the way that it has, because I think it's become an unfortunate situation where it's become more about LSU and Brian Kelly as opposed to Greg Brooks the person, which is an unfortunate just for everybody involved. And if you want to blame that on Greg Brooks' family is trying to get what they feel like they deserve because of what happened, sure. If you want to blame that on LSU, sure. But what's really lost in all of this is Greg Brooks, and that's what's unfortunate.
No doubt, right? I think that he's caught in the middle of a terrible situation.
Something that he had no control over.
And it's just, instead of bringing light to him and instead of things it being about him, it's about everything surrounding him. And that's just, it's never a good thing. That's just the reality of those types of situations. Outside of what we're talking about, we don't really know
anything.
That's
Nobody does.
Yeah.
How long do you think this plays out?
A long time.
Jared?
Yeah, I don't think we're very close to the end of this at all, which.
And I guess relative. Long time is relative.
And I think you get reminded of it, too, every time you see the state, the physical state that Greg Brooks is currently in. It just makes it really hard to understand where he was and what has transpired in between it. So it's a very tough situation. It's very tough, touching. Like y'all said, we want to reiterate, we don't have information about this stuff. So it's not like we're speaking for one side or the other or trying to sway anybody anywhere. This is just it's a tough situation.
Yeah, no doubt. Sorry, I was looking at the dancing Dan guy was on Pat McAfee's show.
This man is a Labrador.
But no, you're 100% right. Like we don't have we don't have any details. We're just speaking on what we know,
just from a personal perspective.
What we've seen it in a personal perspective, and I'm very sympathetic to the situation that is happening, and it's all relative on timeline, right? Like I say a long time. Like someone may think 6 months is a long time. Someone may say 6 years is a long time. We don't really know how long it's going to be. I do believe that things like this take its time because attorneys and the legal process just kind of backs everything up. So hopefully everybody is able to figure it out and move past it is probably the wrong term. But be able to move forward with their lives.
Find a resolution that
move
makes
forward
sense
with their lives
for everyone.
And that can benefit everybody because, I wish it could be changed. I can't. It happened. It's not something that you can go back and fix. But hopefully they can fix what's happening in the future, and everybody can be well on their way to
recovery,
moving moving their life forward. Tough situation. There's really no way around it. There's no other really explanation for it other than the fact that it's just sad, and I don't wish that upon anybody.
It's one of the most hard to define situations that I've ever seen in college football. Like, I've been covering this for a while now, whether it be from when I was 18 to 21, from 24 to 28, to now 29 to 32. Like, this is a situation that kind of stands alone by itself to where it's almost impossible to have an opinion on it without getting dragged into the mud about it, everybody just wants what's best for Greg. I would imagine. I think that's the best way to put it.
I think that's everybody can agree on that.
And you would want LSU to do the same.
Yep. Agreed. We'll obviously keep you updated on everything that we know. What we know is what you know. And we're just regurgitating information that we're reading. Nothing that we don't have any inside info. But we do have some info. We do have some inside information on some of the sports stuff happening. It's a sports show, and we have to kind of get back to that. We have talked over the last month or so, leading up to baseball season, on who we expect to be in the starting rotation. They haven't officially announced the starting rotation from Jay's mouth. Like, Jay hasn't said, hey, this guy's pitching on Friday, this guy's pitching on Saturday, this guy's pitching on Sunday. I would imagine you're probably not going to hear that.
Has he ever done that?
I don't think so.
Did Paul do that?
I think Paul's already done it for South Carolina. I think he already came out with where he expects everybody to be. But that's his personality.
He wants you to know.
Yeah, he's very open about his decisions and why he made the decisions, and that's what he does. Jay kind of doesn't really make it as public, and you know it when you see it, right? He's not going to say this was going to happen. I think in his mind, it's his way of keeping a competitive advantage and not letting everybody know, at least for that 1 week. But the three guys that we thought that were going to be in the rotation, Cade Anderson, Anthony Ayenson, and Chase Shores. Thanks. Chase Shores. All three, we believe they're going to be in the rotation. In what order, we don't know. LSU baseball releases a retweeted graphic from D1 Baseball, who is the voice of college baseball around the country. They have scout. They talk to scouts. They talk to schools. They talk to, they do their own rankings, and they rated the top starting pitchers in the country based off, imagine, like draft projectability. And in those rankings were Cade Anderson, Anthony Ayenson, and Chase Shores, all three in that order. Cade Anderson ranked 17th starting pitcher. Anthony Ayenson, I think, like 26th. And then Cade Anderson, I think, 46th or something like that. There you go. 17, 27, 46. And I'm not saying they're announcing that's going to be the rotation Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I believe those three guys will be in the rotation. I do believe that is going to be the rotation in that order, but that is not the official word yet. Do you think that they released that on purpose?
Yeah, Jay, are you surprised at all from if this is indeed what you think it should be, where it's Cade Anderson who goes from kind of a midweek guy last year to now potentially a Friday night starter? Did you expect that jump at all?
Wait, first off, we don't know that this is the actual
rotation. I'm saying if this is a projected rotation.
No, yeah.
I'm just reading the tea leaves.
Say is this: I'm not. So if you're asking me what I thought about Cade Anderson, is I thought Cade Anderson should have been in the weekend rotation last year. I thought Cade Anderson had a chance to show you that he had top end of the rotation ability last year. He did not pitch in the weekend rotation last year. He pitched primarily in the midweek, and he threw out of the bullpen the times he did throw for the most part of the weekend last year. Now, what I will say is this. We all know Cade came into last year as a highly touted draft prospect. He turned down a lot of money, and he ended up coming to school. So please do not sit here and mistake what I'm saying as if I thought that Cade Anderson is not a very good pitcher. I beat his name from the mountaintops all last year. I think everybody knows that. But when you're coming into this year as highly touted, and what somebody like Chase Shore showed you over, I don't know, at this point, more than 18 months ago, what he was able to do when he was out there, you would only think, and I get it, there's probably going to be some rust, and there's probably going to be some rust he has to knock off and shake off, but you would only think that, man, if somebody like that comes back almost 2 years older, fresh, healthy, smarter, and not necessarily experienced in physical ability, but the conversations I'm sure he's been able to have with Paul and everything he's got to be around and everything that he's got to see, you would think that there is a high chance that he would be the Friday guy. Now, if he's not the Friday guy, high chance he'd be the Saturday guy. So for that to be the order that it comes out in, it almost seems like there was some kind of inside information that got to D1 baseball. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe. I think that they probably had conversations with the staff and talked about, what they like about these guys. And I think they use their eyes. And I think they talked to scouts. And I think they've talked to, based off what you saw last year. I think if you talk to the scouts from Chase Shore's freshman year, he would have been a lot higher. Obviously, he hadn't pitched in basically 2 years. So they are putting him a little bit lower on the list because he really doesn't have a lot of innings under his belt. Ayenson had a really good year last year, transferred from UC San Diego. Out of all three of those guys, the guy who had the highest hype coming into college, plus combined with innings and I guess what he did last year, the guy that has the most of that is Cade Anderson. And so I think that it's a combination of everything on how they got to the ranking. But I'm not saying they're wrong. I do think that Chase Shore is going to be higher by the end of the year. For sure. I think he's going to be at 46. I think is a little too low. I think he'll be.
Do you think that's due to the?
I think it's due to not pitching.
Yeah.
I think it's due to he's coming off an injury and not pitching. That nothing else other than that. It had nothing to do with talent. Or ability or projectability, everything to do with, hey, you haven't really shown us yet because you've been hurt for 2 years. We shall see.
How much do you think they put stock in? I'm looking at Cade Anderson's LSU baseball, LSUsports.net. Effective in the postseason, worked 2 1/3 scoreless innings over 2 NCAA Chapel Hill regional appearances on the same day. Wofford and North Carolina, 2 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Like, do you think that factored at all at the last thing you saw? Where it's like, okay, this is for real, instead of it being like a midweek verse. Like, because that's, I mean, what's his real
I think that helps.
resume
I think that
outside
helps.
of that? Because you didn't see him really on the weekend.
No, but you saw him. Like, he still pitched.
Right,
It doesn't matter if he
Nichols.
pitched on the weekend, but he still pitched and saw his ability. And I think at the end of the year, you saw, okay, maybe he's making this next jump as far as talent. Like, he's starting to feel more comfortable. And then, yeah, he has a lights out performance in a big situation. It definitely helps. I don't think that was the driving force, though. I think that's just another.
I'm just talking
thing.
about like projectability, like when you see that.
But I think he had that coming into college.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was just him reaching or taking the next step of reaching that projectability. I think the projectability hasn't changed from when he got to school. I think it's just getting more experienced.
Wild that he pitched the same day.
Yeah, I think that has very little effect on how they ranked him. I mean, like, think about it the other way around. If you had a guy in the lineup who was, pretty good all year, never really did anything, like, I guess you could say like crazy in SEC play, and then all of a sudden his last game in a regional, he goes out and he has a 2-homer game, and you could be like, 25 homers next year.
Right.
No, probably not. Probably not, right? Like you'd be like, all right, the potential's there. I think he can do something, but you're not going to sit there and say 4-hole 25 homers.
Well, that's
like
yeah.
you're more into like show me.
Yeah.
Okay. So like I think that's kind of how it is. I don't think that really swung where he's at. I mean, we always thought the ability was there. And the more you see it show up, I think that's when that becomes a thing, as opposed to just a one-off, if you will.
Yeah, it's like Milam last year had 5 home runs in like the last 9 games of the season.
I don't think they're projecting him at
You're
20.
not. You're not looking at Milam. Damn, we're expecting him at 20, 25 home runs this year. That'd be amazing if he got to 20. But like, I think you could say, I can expect him to hit 10 to 15, right? Like, hey, you had 8 total last year.
12.
Yeah, in between that 10 to 15 number, like that sounds like that'd be a little bit reasonable. Hey, let's get a little bit better. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you're not looking at him like, this guy's gonna hit 30. Hey, this guy's gonna be right in the middle, hit 30 with 100 because he had a nice stretch of 2 weeks.
Yeah, Dylan Cruz gonna bat 500.
Yeah.
Got close. He got close.
So I do have a question from the chat, and I think it's interesting because y'all are baseball guys, so you know more than I do. Omar the Tiger has a question, and he had made an appearance and maybe on Pat McAfee today.
Did he?
He got mentioned. Would you rather LSU go right, left, right with starting pitching?
I don't think it matters.
Do you think would that be a driving force?
What did you say? You kind of broke up. You broke up right there. I couldn't hear it.
That wouldn't be the first time. Would you rather them go right, left, right, like righty on Friday, lefty Saturday, like mix it up as opposed to pitching maybe who you think is more dominant on Friday?
No, and I think stuff like that kind of matters with what you got in the bullpen too, man. Sometimes like you kind of look at that, like it sounds good to go right, left, right, but what if all you had in the pen was righties or just lefties, and then now you couldn't do anything on Sunday to get a lefty in there as well? Like, so it sounds good, but like, no, I don't really think that. I don't really care how that goes. I think being you want your best guys first and second for the most part. Usually, that's kind of like the traditional thought of it. But then you also want to be able to complement those guys well out of the pen with what you have and what's available, and kind of go that way. So I don't really care. I guess in an absolute perfect world, whatever that perfect world may be, maybe. But then the next weekend, if you face a team that's got 7 lefties in the lineup, do you now want left, right, left?
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, it doesn't really matter.
So yeah, I don't think that's the matchup deal is as important as for the starting pitchers as it is for the bullpen and for the lineup, right? Like obviously going left, right in the lineup like Jay likes to do, it protects them from having 4 straight lefties or 4 straight righties for later on in the game when they do bring a guy out the pen and say, okay, we're going to bring in the righty and he's going to have to face these 4 righties in a row, and it makes it a little bit easier on him or easier on the other coach for making a decision than it does on Jay for having, okay, now I may have to pinch hit to try to get this matchup. And so I don't think the left-right matchup as far as starting pitching is as big, as much of a concern, especially when you have a guy like Kate Anderson or guys that are bona fide starters and not guys that you're trying to figure out if they can start. Those guys, you're comfortable with them pitching against righties and lefties. And so, I don't think that's a big concern. What do you focus on? You got another
Well,
question?
no, did you not remember the conversation last year where it felt like, oh, look how many lefties LSU has coming out the pen, like where that was like a huge deal because LSU predominantly only had right-handed pitching, and there's like, look how many lefties they have coming. I was just going through the lineup, like obviously that didn't seem to make that much of a difference, but you have, as I look through this thing, you have Cooper Williams, left-handed freshman. Dalton Beck, outfield, first base, left-handed pitcher, senior. Haven't seen him really yet.
We saw him in the lineup the other day.
We did. I'm just talking about like for
pitching.
Game. Yeah. Kate Anderson. So that's 1, 2, 3 lefties so far, and then
Primo.
DJ Primo.
You'll see him out the pen this year.
Connor Ware might be the.
And you're going to see Connor Ware out the pen
might be
a
the
lot.
puzzle piece that solves all of this.
Jake Brown's also a two-way guy. I don't know if you're going to see him on the mound.
That's an interesting conversation to have, honestly, because of how stacked the outfield is. Maybe he does get some work, and
yeah, I don't think that's going to be a deciding factor unless he's just not playing at all. But
I mean,
I think he's going to be in the lineup.
So that would be a Curiel conversation if like he comes in and does stuff where you just can't take him out, and then you have Ashton Larson continue to play well.
And who's the third one?
Hey, you gotta think about it this way, Lloyd. I just want to, Lloyd. Let me flip it back to you this way. If Paul Skeens was a lesser of a pitcher, do you think he would have not hit in that 23 season? No, yeah, 23 season.
23. If he was lesser of a pitcher,
yeah,
I think maybe early. Right? Like, what's the harm in doing that? He's not gonna be injuries withstanding, but what's the harm? I mean, he hit 20 home runs and at
so
Air
my point
Force.
is like, yeah, no, yeah, I'm with you on that. Like, I think that becomes the case. I think Jay understood at that point that he was so damn valuable on the mound that it didn't make any sense to have another 350 with 20 pops in the lineup to risk him possibly getting hurt.
Yeah, I need those 20 wins.
I say that only to say is that I don't think because the outfield stacked, because that lineup that LSU had that year was stacked, but they would have found somewhere in the lineup if they needed that bat.
Mm-hmm.
Get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I think when you talk about Jake Brown, it's not about because the outfield is stacked that might be what pushes him to the mound. I think if the arm is really what dictates everything.
Yep.
So it's like, if it's going to be that good for us on the mound, well, I don't really give a shit about what's happening in the field. It's going to be on the mound.
Yeah, Jay's going to.
And I'm not saying that marginalizes him as a pitcher. I'm just saying, like, you have to think about it in those
where your
things.
value lies.
Giving him pretty much I'm giving him like an unfair comparison because Paul is one of one, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay's going to do whatever he thinks is the most value to the team, right? Like, and if that means, hey, I think that you provide more value to the team doing both, then he's going to let you do both. If he believes that you're more valuable to the team in the lineup majority of the time, that's where you're going to be. And the third way is if we think you're more valuable as a pitcher, then that's what you're going to do. I think that he knows how valuable he is as an offensive player, right? As a lefty at bat who's shown that he has the ability to drive the ball at the ballpark, has shown the ability to come up with some big hits, has shown the ability to play defense. I think the value is in that. Now, if he has been on the mound and they need some lefty help and he looks good, maybe you do see him out the pen a little bit throughout the course of the year, but I don't think it's going to be this extended role where he's going to do both consistently.
How many lefty bats do they have in the lineup?
Well, you got Milam's a switch hitter, so you can count that as one. If Pearson starts, that's two.
Are you trying to ask us the lineup again in the most creative way you've done it?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if Pearson's in there, that's two. Jake Brown would be three. Larson's four. Like, any of those guys could be in there. Curiel, is he a lefty or righty?
I think he's
I don't know. Good question.
Bad for us,
I think
but I didn't
he's
want to
a
have
lefty.
it. I wanted to say lefty too.
I wanted to say lefty too.
He's a lefty.
See? So, if he's in there. So you have – and I think you got more than that, but those are the guys that you know of that or you would expect to get some
Oh, yes,
significant
because
time.
it used to be such a conversation point. Like, whenever we're getting this close to baseball, it felt like it was, oh, how many lefties do you have in the lineup? Because this happens during the year where people look, it's like, oh, you're too right-handed dominant. You have to switch up your lineup. You're too right-handed dominant on the mound. You have to find a left-handed pitcher. Like, these are conversations that we've had
Right.
for the last 4 years whenever you get to week 4.
I will say this. In college, even in pro ball in some instances, like, yeah, the matchup thing, I understand, but I understand that more at the back end of a game when the bullpen guys are coming, you're only facing them for one inning, or you have this super elite lefty on the mound. You say, okay, I'm going to put more righties because this guy is like no lefty sniffs him. But as far as like righties hitting righties, like growing up, you have faced more right-handed pitchers than you probably have faced left-handed pitchers, right? And so I think in the college level, that matchup isn't as
scrutinized,
prominent, and isn't as much of an issue as it is once you get to the higher levels and you have some of these elite arms consistently, and they kind of know what they're doing and how to attack these guys. But I think that LSU's got enough lefties to kind of mix and match the lineup. But even if they have 2 or 3 righties in a row, I think Jay's comfortable with them being able to hit both righties and lefties.
God, I can't wait to see this thing play out.
Jay, what do you think?
Fair assessment. Yeah, I don't think it's as big of a deal in college as it is in pro ball. I don't think it's as big of a deal with righty versus righty as it is lefty versus lefty. Like, think about everybody. You grow up around baseball and you see baseball. How many guys do you see throwing batting practice left-handed?
Right.
How many guys do you see throwing batting practice left-handed to a bunch of left-handers? Righties are so used to seeing righties. I don't think it's as much of a thing. And you got to remember, too, like, it's hard to play the numbers game already, right? Because you could always be wrong and just sit here and say it's the numbers. But in college, you got a 56-game slate. In pro ball, you got a 162-game slate. So there's that many more numbers that validate that many more decisions in pro ball in terms of, hey, this righty is facing this righty, and this righty does this against this righty. Where those numbers are a third of that in college. So you got to think about those things too as well. When you think about it, I don't think that's as much of a thing. Like, people are going to use it still, yes, but it's not as much of a thing in college as it is in pro ball.
Data and analytics, right? You have more data in Major League Baseball, professional baseball, than you do in college for you to make those decisions, right? Like, you have years of stuff. Now, if you have a junior righty on the mound and he's been in the rotation for 3 years and his batting average against righties for his career is, .98, and lefties are hitting 285, yeah, you're going to have a lefty-dominant lineup that day because the numbers are – you have enough track record of this one guy and long enough in a big enough of a gap between averages that, okay, maybe we'll do that. But 95% of the time in college, that's not the case. And those splits aren't that wide, and it's not going to matter.
And even when they are that wide, usually if they're that wide with that little of a sample, you probably put a little less weight on it because you're like, I ain't got enough.
Right.
I need more to be able to actually look at that and say, I need that. That's what it is.
Right. But yeah, to your point, Lloyd, I can't wait till it plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But we have a couple of questions in the chat that I wanted to get to very quickly. So, what is for Matthew Conkle? Okay. What is the absolute floor of this LSU baseball team? Obviously, you saw them get out of the gates a little bit, stumbling into SEC play, where your kind of head was against the gun, essentially, where it was as much as Matthew McMahon has felt it. Jay was very much in that, for some reason, was in that same mold of can't win a conference game. How do you get out of here? Losing one-run games all of the time. And so people are asking what the absolute floor is of LSU baseball.
Jay, you want to answer it first? Or you want me to go?
I'm fine. That sounds like a very nega tiger.
No, Conkle's a good dude. Conkle's a good guy.
No. Hear me when I say this. It sounds like he's like,
just in case.
Let me know where I need to set my hopes and dreams and aspirations to. That way I know if it goes here, I'm fine. Like, I know I won't at least go more than this.
How much of these mushrooms can I take?
Yeah. I don't know, man. Like, so I think the floor of them right now is the floor. It's a regional team. I don't think anybody's going to be super happy about them getting to a regional and not getting out of a regional. But I think that's a realistic floor. And honestly, for a top 3 SEC team, like if you finish the year as a top 3 SEC team, and we've seen in the last recent years, you didn't even need to do that. But truthfully, if you finish the team as a top 3 SEC team,
you're a national host.
Of a contender to win a national championship as anybody that's out there. Yeah, it really is that. So, like, if you see them as that, to me, there goes your ceiling. And if they're not that, you should be in a regional. The floor of it, to me, with this team is if they don't get out of a regional.
Yeah, I think the floor is last year. I think that's a very reasonable floor. You have a lot of new guys. The floor is the roof.
Ceiling is the roof.
The floor is what they did last year. Hey, you're a 2 seed at a tough regional, and you played really well, and you're 2 outs away from making it to a super. I think that is the floor. I think the ceiling is obviously national championship aspirations, right? Like I think you have obviously a big gap. Like Jared said, if you're top 3, maybe even 4 in the SEC, you're close to being a top 8 seed, if not a top 8 seed. I'd imagine you're probably going to have 3 SEC teams at least, maybe 4 as top 8 seeds this year. And so if you end up in that part of the SEC, you're in a good spot, and you have as good of a chance, like Jared said, as of any, of making a run in Omaha. So, yeah, floor I think is last year's a good benchmark.
Well, let me say this too, and I truly mean this, and for anybody who hates the SEC is going to hate this part of the conversation, but to me, this truly is where the SEC has gotten. I don't think if you're a top 8 seed, you're a real, legit threat just because you're a top 8 seed to be a national championship contender. Yeah, you might get there, but I don't look at every team that's in that top 8 that's going to host a super if they're at home yeah, I think they'll win. I think they'll walk in. I think they'll do it all. I don't. I'm just being honest with you.
No,
but I do think if you are a top 3 SEC team, you have a serious chance of being a national championship winner at the end of the year. And obviously, when we saw the Ole Misses and Mississippi State too, I believe that year when they did it didn't even take them to be that. So, there you go.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree 100%.
Yeah, I agree with you in terms of the floor being last year, which is you were 1 out away from hosting a super regional at Alec Box after going to North Carolina.
Yeah, it's not a bad floor.
No.
Yeah.
But I think that is the expectation as super regional.
And it should be.
Hosting.
Expectations should be hosting a super and getting to Omaha.
And I feel like some years that's conflated. This year I don't feel like it is. That should be the expectation. That's not even too much pressure.
No, it should be.
And speaking of pressure, Ask Eminem from Jason Guidry. For both of you fellas, Mikey and Mitch, not me. How did you handle the pressure as a freshman? I remember our Bro Bridge coaches talking up Mitch as the next Ken Griffey Jr. I'd never been so nervous facing Mitch when he was at Westgate. You were 12.
How do you handle the pressure? Wait, the question was how do you handle the pressure as a freshman?
Yeah, you were in 7th grade as a freshman.
I had a unique experience, first off. One, honestly, you really try to go about the work and everything that you do as if it's another day. I know that shit gets said so much that people really believe that this is just speaking. They don't know, that's literally how you have to go about it. You try to find ways to make the work of what you do, everything that you do, as ordinary as possible. That way, when you get out there and it's grander than it's ever been, that you don't feel like you're doing something that's foreign to you. So I had a unique experience where I got to be on the field in front of 100,000 before that. So the shit on the baseball side kind of really, I was like, whatever, dude. It didn't really bother me, right? And then you kind of just go through it. But it really takes finding ways to slow your heart rate down in everything that you do, because that's the only way you can make the abnormal feel normal, which is now I got to do this shit in front of thousands of people. That's really the only way to do it.
I agree. For me, obviously, my experience was different than his experience. I dreamed of being able to play at LSU. Right? 'Cause I watched it as a fan. the crowd though wasn't the pressure for me as a freshman or as a player ever is never about the crowd. Like I don't even really notice the crowd, to be honest with you. It's more about the pressure is I want to succeed for so I could continue to play and continue to be in there and continue to do things so that my teammates like that. Like I'm helping my teammates out. That was the pressure for me. Luckily for me, when I got there, we had a great group of dudes that were older that had been there for a long time, and I could just fill in and grind my way to at bat after at bat and game after game, and not have to like rely on me to be the middle lineup and hit 350 as a freshman and do all those types of things. And so, for me, I would just tell myself I know I just had to do enough to help us win. Don't do anything to screw it up, but just do just enough to help us win. Do something positive, and over time, it was just going to add up, and that's how it worked out. It's not as easier said than done. Trust me.
Yeah, I didn't start till I was a sophomore, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't relate as a freshman. And we have one more from Canes Cats Heat. What is LSU's biggest must-win weekend series for the Tigers this year?
You want to go? I know mine is.
The first one.
Must-win weekend series. Ooh. Man, I'm not going to sit here and say Tennessee. I think that's too easy. I'm not going to sit. Do they play A&M this year, right?
Yes. At
I'm not going
A&M.
to sit here and say A&M. I think that's too easy. I honestly, with this group, I would really I think some must-win series for them, just to put them in the right mindset, I think would be great for this squad to come out and win those first 2 weekends. You get 2 weekend series wins right there to kind of make you feel good about who you are and what you got a chance to do and where you can go.
Purdue, Fort Wayne, or conference?
Conference.
Okay,
Conference, conference. Not the first 2 of the season, the conference. I think those 2 are pivotal for this team.
Yeah, I agree. If we're going to use the must-win moniker, I think that for those 2 are obviously must-win. Like, let's get off to a good start, not have the same thing repeat. But if I'm talking about what series do I think that they have to win to avoid, like, the meltdown or of the fans, of the, creating negative conversation in the media, that kind of stuff, for me, it's South Carolina, the last series of the year, right? Like, I don't think that's going to determine the SEC, obviously. But as far as optics, and we're learning a lot about optics right now through the football team. But as far as optics go, you want to be able to say, okay, we're not going to let the old former national championship coach at LSU come into Baton Rouge and take the series from LSU right before the SEC tournament and the postseason play. So I just think, as far as how that sets up, to me, that one is, I don't want to call it a must-win, but it's one that, like, you'd like to have.
Especially if it plays out.
I think it only turns into a must-win if they're both, like, legitimately still playing for something at the point. Like let's just say for shits and giggles, like, if we're just trying to think of it, let's say LSU is 100% going to make a postseason and South Carolina's on the brink and they need that. I don't think it's a must-win. Let's say LSU they already got or only need 1 win to win the SEC outright, and obviously South Carolina wouldn't at that point. I don't think it's a must-win. I think if they're both sitting somewhere kind of in the same boat, though,
no, I
becomes a must-win.
I understand that, no doubt. But I'm saying, as far as, like, everything around it, optics go, I think if I had to pick a series that I would deem important to win, must-win is probably not the word. Important to win, it's that one.
Might be fun to win.
Yeah.
Okay, but I understand. I know you're not saying it's just must-win, but my point is if those first 2 scenarios happen, nobody's going to give a shit if they lose to them. They're really not. I'm not. I'm going to be like, well, all right.
I know we're not.
Where's one team and where's the other one?
No, I get it. I just, people are going to make things a bigger deal than they
Mikey,
should be.
you found yourself in a commonality where I find myself quite a bit. which is looking at it from a fan's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's
where
I don't care. It doesn't
Imagine
affect
Tiger
me.
droppings if LSU is
That's my-
rip roaring hot, and they go over to South Carolina and Paul Maneri sweeps 3. Like we got the wrong guy.
And is that gonna affect anything?
No, but
it's
it
not.
would be a huge.
It would
be a
just
topic.
it would be a conversation.
And if you go over there and you go to South Carolina and take 3 for 3, it'd be like, yeah.
No, they're coming here.
Oh, they come here.
First of all, now you changing the conversation because
I know, but
But nobody said shit about sweeping. We just said win the series.
Yeah,
You get
right.
swept, of course. Bad news. Yeah.
Yeah. No. I was just talking about. I'm not talking about sleeping. I'm just talking about series. They're coming. They come to
I
LSU.
know, but Lloyd just said that. That's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I'm
I mean,
like,
I
Lloyd,
wanted
you're talking
to-
about. Now you're changing the conversation. Getting swept is completely different.
Yeah, they are.
Sorry to make it more interesting.
So, I mean, they are at LSU. Yeah, No, never mind. At South Carolina. You're
Yeah,
right.
I knew it.
LSU
That's
at
okay,
South,
I knew
at
it.
South Carolina the last week in the
Just
season.
let you win.
That's my bad.
And if you want my answer to this question, I have the benefit of being able to look at the schedule over here. And so LSU's first series on the road, first SEC series is Missouri.
At home.
Not a big deal at home, right?
And then at Texas.
Then at Texas. Then the third series is Mississippi State. I would say that might be the biggest one of the year, considering it's going to be your first real one at home. The box will be fucking packed for Mississippi State, and you're going to have a real opportunity to prove if you'll probably be vying for a number 1 team in the country at that point. And so I think that would be a huge one. If it's not that one, I would go down to Alabama, and then there's a real stretch. Well, because you'd want to win before going into Tennessee and Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to be able to collect some SEC wins depending on how the season's going. But that's the real stretch. I know it's the easy answer, but Alabama being able to collect 2 of 3 there at home. Then you have Tennessee at home, and then you go to Texas A&M. That's going to be the biggest stretch of LSU's baseball season.
You have Tennessee A&M, Arkansas. That's the top. Those three in a row are the top 4 or 5 teams in the country.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's impossible. Like I know it's the easy answer, but it's also like if you can steal some from
like the top
Alabama,
4.
you should win the series.
The
at home.
the preseason top 4 teams in the country: LSU, Tennessee, Texas A&M, Arkansas. And you
Right.
play 3.
That's
You
what-
play
that's-
them. They all play each other.
That's why I think Alabama might be the most important series of the season to be able to get 2 to 3 SEC wins at home before God knows what happens.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Obviously, it's all every week's gonna be a different conversation.
Every week's a different week.
There's gonna be
every week's a new week.
Yeah, every day's a new day.
That's right.
There's gonna be some teams are gonna win more than you thought. Some teams are gonna lose more than you thought. So it's gonna be interesting to see how it plays out. But as it stands right now, that's the only reason why I said that as far as teams.
No, I don't think you're
series.
wrong either. I think they're all like it's obviously all SEC baseball, but I think they're all interesting in their own right.
Agreed.
Agreed.
All right, let's get to the Super Bowl bets.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was going to say segments.
Super Bowl bets.
I'm back.
Let's pull out the props. You already got some on there. You've been doing it. I haven't bet any yet.
I'm back. The Tease King is here. I had to
So,
send it to Jackie.
Do we like betting the actual game?
Under?
What is the over under? Let's see.
Oh, if you tease it, it's a lot.
No, what's the real over under?
Okay. 48.
48 and a half. And you like the under?
Yes. Certainly at 56.
Well, yeah, but at 48 and a half, you like the under. Jay, what do you think? On Caesars, the
It
line
was
is
49
1.
and a half. It was, and the only reason I like the under is the Chiefs. The first time they scored over 30 points was the last time they played. Sure. The last time Mahomes played against the Eagles, he threw for 180 yards.
Right.
And
both good defenses.
Right. And now you have the Eagles on an actual fast track as opposed to the Sodfather, where they were duped, swindled, kerfuffled with soft grass. Now, slick track, fast track for an Eagles defense. So
And that's why
you like the under.
That's why you like
Eagles
why you like
defense
the under?
flying around.
He likes the under.
Yeah, I'm taking the. I like the over in this one, man.
We'll take it. Fine. Let's bet each other right now.
If I remember correctly, one thing Pat Mahomes does is he shows up in big sections, right, in big opportunities. And the last time I'm looking at it right now, they actually didn't score shit when they played there. They scored 15 points. Fast track I can't even use that. I'm just telling you, I think this game, Pat Mahomes, this team, the way they're rolling right now, I think it's good. And also, okay, I can use this.
Yeah, but you were searching for something.
I'm searching and I'm flipping the numbers. Remember, hey, listen, when they played the Saints, the Eagles played the Saints, they went down there and they won 15-12 on that long-ass run by Saquon after that. The week after that, they got blown out their goddamn gym by the Bucs, 33-16. Yeah, that started the 11-game winning streak. So I think they figured out who they were, and over that 11-game winning streak, it goes 20, 28, 37, 28, 34, 26, 37, 24, 22, 27, 36.
The Eagles in the under.
And a loss. No, dog. If they do 20, we're going to get there. And it's going to be 20 plus. So I'm going with the Eagles. And I think the over is the way to go right here. I'm not going with the Eagles to win. I like the over this.
I don't mind the over. I like the over more than the under.
Y'all fine. Be on the losing side. How many times do I have to sit over here and
I don't need to. I mean, I don't. I'm not sure I'm gonna bet the actual game. I mean, it's basically no, like the minus the spread. It's a pick 'em. I know.
You never get better odds than a pick 'em.
I know that, but
it's a coin flip.
The pick 'em. I mean, I'd want to pick. I think I'd be betting with my heart,
which is
the Eagles.
Do it. You have to bet the game.
I am going to bet the game. I'm going to bet the game.
I mean, I took the coward's way out by teasing the Eagles in the under.
Okay.
But that's a bet. At least I put a bet in. You're acting over there like you're not going to You're not going to gamble?
Did you think that I wasn't going to gamble?
Yeah, I'm just making sure you get it while the getting's good.
I mean, money line 105. So,
the real bet of this entire thing, right?
I'm betting right now, just for you.
Eagles?
Yep, money line.
Jared, you're throwing Chiefs, aren't you?
Yeah, I think Chiefs money.
You got
two. And I want to see history. I'm sorry. I like seeing shit I've never seen before. I don't really give a damn about the underdog competition or the underdog story. I like seeing shit I've never seen.
All right, so let's do
player. Okay, here we are with the player props.
That's what I want to get at.
First, before we get to that.
Okay.
Heads or tails?
Heads. I'm always a heads guy.
Jared?
Heads.
Oh, I'm a tails guy. Tails never fails. But that's always the first bet I do every Super Bowl, just because it's the only time you can ever bet on it.
Yeah.
And it'll change your day immediately.
Yep.
Once, you'll put in.
Do you do the coin toss winner?
No, I've never done that.
They have that on here too.
Can you do both? Can you hedge?
I mean. I'm sure you could, but
you're
just playing for you and money. What are you doing?
I won.
I mean, I lost. No, won. No, we're even.
I win.
Just to make sure it's fun, but I'm going to be even.
Player pass touchdowns.
TD score.
Last touchdown score or touchdown score?
Just TD score.
First touchdown score, Saquon Barkley plus 420. Anytime touchdown for Saquon minus 190. Oh, it just went away.
Wait, that's not. This just says touchdown score. This doesn't say first touchdown score. Oh, never mind. They have them all. Look, they organize them.
Yeah, this is the most organized this app has ever been.
This is better. This is better.
I think. Why is it like this all the time?
I like. Well, that's why they're both minus. I like Jalen Hurts scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, anytime touchdowns. I like that you bet the under, and you're like, I like this guy to score a touchdown.
I didn't bet the under.
You should.
I would bet the over. Told you that.
Touchdown score. Saquon, first touchdown, plus 420.
You want
Anytime, minus 190. 2 or more, plus 275. Now, the 2 or more for Jalen Hurts at plus 550 is worth it because of the tush push, right? He's been a touchdown vulture for the Eagles and Saquon.
He has.
That's worth it at plus 550.
And you would imagine it's going to be hard for them to get in there. You know what I mean? Like get big long runs and big touchdown runs. You'd imagine that's going to be
grind it out.
Yeah.
And then you go tush push. So I'll take a little flyer on that. Other first anytime or 2 or more touchdowns. Kareem Hunt, first touchdown plus 900.
You know who I like to score a touchdown?
Xavier Worthy.
Yep.
Don't blame you.
Yep. I do.
Plus 150 for an anytime touchdown from Xavier Worthy.
All right, let's get to the. Do you like
God, there's so many people. E.J. Jenkins?
Jalen Hurts definitely not throwing 2 touchdowns today. This game. Right?
You know what he did the last time we played?
What do you do?
Like 3 touchdowns.
Plus 170 over
It's
one.
not Super Bowl.
Over 1.5.
Last Super Bowl, he would have been the MVP if he doesn't have that fumble that's a scoop and score.
Over 1.5 passing touchdowns for Jalen Hurts.
Plus 170.
I know.
But so you do that, and then you do the 2 rushing touchdowns. You got to win one or the other.
Yeah, well, I wasn't doing the 2 rushing touchdowns. If he does the 2 rushing touchdowns, I'm going under that.
Okay, here's a real one that I think we should focus on. Patrick Mahomes rushing yards. What do you think it is without looking at it right now?
22.5.
29.5.
Wow. He runs a lot in the postseason.
He does.
Especially in the Super Bowl.
He's cashed every playoff game. He had 65 rushing yards in the last Super Bowl. Against the.
I like the 29.5.
It's a lot.
Saquon at 113.5 is a lot.
That's crazy.
I like Jalen Hurts. Oh, I like Jalen Hurts over his 37.5 too. I think I'm gonna parlay both quarterbacks rushing yards over.
Wait.
You get into another parlay, huh?
Yeah, you know me. I like the parlays.
Pacheco is over 21.5.
I know, but he hasn't been playing. Did
Yeah,
you
this
watch?
is when he shows
Did you
up.
see when what he did last game? He barely. He got like 3 carries.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt took his job.
Yeah.
Xavier Worthy 6.5.
I love that too.
They're gonna get him the ball.
He hit last game. I mean, last game I think it was
That's
6.5
what I bet.
too. You bet it.
Yeah, he
got on
texted me.
I did text you. He ignored me.
Yeah, well, I was sweating out with some other stuff.
Yeah, you ignored me. I texted him. I was rooting for my guy, and then he just
Then he
crickets,
ghosted
dude.
him.
Unbelievable.
And then you have player receptions. Travis Kelce 6.5. Xavier Worthy 5.5. AJ Brown 5.5. Devontae Smith 4.5. Goddard 4.5. I would go over that. And Saquon over 2.5. They're gonna throw it to him.
What's the receptions wise?
1.5.
Whose?
D Hop. Just
2 at least.
yeah.
I like Travis Kelce over the
I would take that
6.5. Honestly,
No, that's a sucker bet.
they always throw him the rock in the Super Bowl.
That's true.
I mean, he's been playoffs. He's had.
He's been good. This is what he's doing.
That's what I mean. He does what he does.
He goes in the cryo chamber, and then he comes out in the playoffs, and he's good again.
Yeah, Dallas Goddard.
Do you think he retires? If they win, does he retire and
They
propose?
should let you bet on that. They should let you bet on that.
Does he retire and propose on the field? Ian Johnson style.
I don't think it goes. I don't think that go hand in hand. Like I don't think they're gonna do it. He's gonna do it simultaneously, right? Like, and I don't think he's proposing on the field. He doesn't strike me as that guy.
You know what's going to happen? They're going to win.
He's gonna propose on the parade.
Disneyland.
Maybe. Or just propose on her private jet or something.
No, the carbon emissions. It's bad. That's a bad look for her.
What else do you like?
I like the Dia Hop, to be honest.
I'm gonna tell you one that I like. I'm just trying to get to it because my phone just stopped working.
Super Bowl MVP.
Nope, I was going to this one.
Opening coin toss.
I like doing the field
Coin
goals.
toss winner. Oh,
I think both kickers are.
where are they? Game goes to overtime plus 1,000. Absolutely.
Just to throw a little sprinkle on it.
You'd be a fool.
All right. I also like betting on the first touchdown. Not who scores it, how they score it. Our first points. Kansas City touchdown, Philadelphia touchdown, KC field goal, Philadelphia safety, Kansas City safety. I like betting on that.
I'm going to go Kansas City field goal.
I like that too. That's what I was thinking. I'm betting it just because we both like it.
Wait, what y'all do?
Is that straight up bet, or are you putting that in a parlay too?
No. Well, I haven't made my parlay yet, but that's on its own bet.
That's not. I said one of the parlays because let's be honest, you got more than one popped in there for this one.
Yeah.
Well, but these parlays are like unrealistic, so you don't put a lot of money on it. But if you hit it,
I'm gonna ask you to justify why you're gonna have it in there.
Oh wait.
what?
Successful 2-point conversion, yes, plus 240, absolutely.
Yes, got to.
If I've seen Super Bowls lately,
In both these teams,
Yeah.
you know, like you feel like the Eagles definitely going to go for 2 at some point.
the Octopus player scores touchdown and 2-point conversion on the same drive.
They have that on there.
Yeah, I've never heard of the Octopus. Plus 1,400.
I'm not touching that.
No,
one.
but that's awesome. Now, this is actually pretty interesting. Fourth quarter heroes.
Jersey number of the first TD score, odd or even?
Whoa.
Yeah. Odd minus 165, even plus 130.
So Kelsey's what, 87? Mahomes is 15.
Was Jalen Hurts?
2.
2.
Where are
Saquon?
these number 1? Say Saquon's 26.
26. That's even.
Goddard's 86. 86?
I think he's
88.
87.
88.
He's 88. Brown.
14?
Shit, what number is Hollywood?
No, I'm talking about AJ.
Oh, AJ Brown.
That's such a good bet, dude. There's somebody that has autism that'll figure this out. Like, you look at all the numbers and know, like, they could rattle this thing off of a chart without even looking at it. Like,
Crazy, dude.
that's
I mean,
awesome.
You
Why don't
can
they do
bet
this for every game?
you can bet shortest touchdown yardage.
Half a yard.
Because you would.
Over under 1.5 is plus 165. Under 1.5 is minus 200.
Yeah. That's a Super Bowl special for the fellas.
Yeah.
Because of the way they spotted, they wanted it to be short.
Seconds of shortest drives. Like, you can bet on everything.
Dude, they have fourth quarter heroes. Saquon Barkley to score one or more touchdowns in the fourth quarter and Eagles win game. Patrick Mahomes, 75 passing yards in fourth quarter with a passing touchdown in the fourth quarter, and Chiefs win the game, plus 450. Like, probably.
Dude, they even have next-gen stats that you can bet on. Saquon Barkley, fastest ball carry speed. Over under 19.5 miles per hour.
What about Xavier Worthy?
18.5 miles per hour.
They're going to get it to him on his little sweep.
They have the fastest ball carrier. Player with the most air yards from a single reception. So who's going to catch a deep ball?
Right. So,
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown, Dallas Goedert are the top ones in there.
yeah, I imagine A.J. Brown's the only one worth betting.
Or Devontae, maybe.
Maybe. But not Xavier Worthy. People get
Player with most yards after catch from single reception.
Xavier Worthy.
Offensive player to carry the ball for the greatest distance on a single play from scrimmage.
What if you bet all of these?
Unbelievable. Crazy. Wild.
All right, so let's
We're
get
gonna
a
have a good
parlay
time.
in.
All right.
Real quick, we have to.
Yep. So, Jay, out of everything we said, which one do you like to put into our team parlay?
Out of everything we said, I mean,
Or
we just said a whole.
Anything that you want to put
Yeah,
in
we
the
all have to
parlay.
pick one, whether it
I'm
prop.
taking the over. I want the over. Like,
Okay.
I want the over in the game.
Okay.
That's the one I want.
So, yeah, so that's not necessarily a prop, but it's okay, right? We can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I'm just not going to take it because I've already taken the under. But fair.
Okay, so over.
So you're telling me Jared Mitchell, you don't want DeAndre
Oh, the
Hopkins?
player prop? No, give me the player prop I want is the DeAndre Hopkins. Over 1.5 receptions.
Good call.
Mikey?
Hold on. I gotta put it in there. Receiving. Player receptions is DeAndre Hopkins over 1.5. Okay. I am gonna do. I like Mahomes over the yardage, rushing yardage.
What is it?
It is
65?
no.
No.
29 and a half, I
29 and a
think.
half. Yeah, I don't blame you. It's impossible not to take that because he's done it every year.
29.5 over. Add it. I also like Jalen Hurts over. It's on you, Lloyd.
What did I like?
They have rushing attempts.
I'm going to plus 240. Will there be a successful 2-point conversion? Yes.
That's what you're adding in there.
Yes.
Wow. Where's that at? How do I find that? Scoring?
Mm-hmm.
Safety scored, both teams.
Successful 2-point conversion. You're looking at it into the octopus.
Am I missing that? Where do
That's
you
right
see
under
that?
safety scored in game.
Both teams have. I don't have that on here.
We're on the same app.
I know it says scoring. I have score
I'm
first.
I'm
and
in popular.
Okay. Popular. Where's that at?
All the way to the
Popular,
left.
first one.
Yep.
Last touchdown score,
Oh, Matthew Conkle.
play receptions, rushing receiving yards, safety, successful 2-point conversion. So you said yes. Ineligible parlay.
Successful. Oh, is it successful 2-point conversion? Put it out.
So far, yeah.
Okay, so
Nope. Yep. Put it out. So you got to
Okay.
add one more.
Jay Mitch, I love your D-Hop 1.5 receptions. And from Conkle, I can get D-Hop at 13.5 receiving yards. So I'll take the over.
So you want 2.5 over 1.5 receptions and the 13.5 receiving yards?
Jay Mitch has the 1.5 receptions,
Right.
and I'll take the 13.5 receiving yards. Even though, if I wanted to,
You don't have to do it.
He's trying to talk you out of it.
12 and a
He
half.
wants you to do it.
I have it
Like
at
it.
12 and a half. No, I like it, but
I do too. But I feel like kind of a wimp not picking my own. But this is from Conkle. But that's a good bet. Or I could actually ruin this parlay and do tails.
no, don't do that.
Okay.
So that only gets the odds to plus 282.
So do something else?
Yeah.
Why is it mine?
I mean, yours, before yours, it was
Well, they're scared of my other one.
plus 280.
Oh, okay, that's not enough. Well, none of these odds are going to change it too much. Okay. So I'm looking for a little odds booster.
Yeah. But potentially like a realistic odds booster. Like nothing that's like plus 700.
No, why is this on me?
Well, you're the last one.
Yeah, I know. Not Super Bowl MVP. Where's the Gatorade color?
I mean, I don't know. You have to do it yourself.
No, I mean, I picked what I picked.
I know. Just only brought it up 2 extra.
I know. Well,
We can do it if you want.
I'm trying to find something else.
Xavier Worthy rushing yards
That was the one I was looking at.
minus 6.5.
Plus 6.5, right?
I mean, over under 6.5
Yeah.
minus 105.
Yeah, does that change it a lot? Is that enough?
Let's see. Plus 600.
Let's do it.
All
Okay,
right.
there we go. Jesus Christ, what was the other? Jesus.
He went up 2 points. It was like minus 135 or
Yeah,
something.
okay, but it sounds like a good one. Ooh.
Well-
Conkle.
Or we not? Or am I not? I'm not putting it in yet. Do you want me to change it?
No, I'm gonna pitch it to the crew. Hold on. Conkle, I appreciate your effort here. Juju over 16.5 yards, question mark. Saquon over 2.5 receptions.
Juju over.
I like the Juju over the Saquon. Should we add a fourth?
Should we put a Conkle special?
Should we put the? I mean, he's been participating.
He's given to the chat.
Should we add?
Super Bowl shuffle.
Super Bowl Conkle.
Should we add
Yeah.
over receiving yards?
For Juju. I mean, if that's 2 catches. Matthew Conkle, if you lose this, nothing
Boy,
happens.
it'd be tough if he's the one that loses it.
Yeah, the one-show ban.
Juju Smith-Schuster over 16.
Well,
I have it
more
16 and a half,
than
right? Is that what he said?
Yep.
And add that. Now,
What are the odds?
the odds are plus 1,300.
Yeah, so worth it.
Worth it. So we got DeAndre Hopkins over 1.5 total receptions. Mahomes over 29.5 rushing yards. Xavier Worthy over 6.5 rushing yards. Juju Smith-Schuster over 16.5 receiving yards. I love it.
Hey, Conkle, let's fucking go. I love you, boys.
I love it. He's fired up.
Run, drag, right over the
Conkle,
middle.
here's the deal, though. Here's the deal. If we put you in this, which we did, bet done. You now have to bet it, and you have to show proof that you bet it with us.
Put the slip in.
Put the slip in, because it's easy to bet it if you don't have anything out there.
There's nothing worse than a pocket bet.
Nothing worse. So
Don't tell me I told you so.
You convinced us to add you in it. Plus 1,300, good odds.
Let's go.
All feel like they're realistic.
Yeah.
You know, it always feels like it's realistic.
And then you watch the game and it's a mud show. And it's like, oh, this game's not going anywhere.
But if it is
and then Juju one time, bang.
If it is a mud show, though, I like the rushing.
Yeah.
Because that's how you're gonna have to try to maneuver yards.
We're gonna chop this thing down one at a time.
Just one or two reverses for
We're
Worthy.
Greg Schiano.
Pop me one 10-yard run, we're good.
Yeah.
Right?
One little drag.
One little dig right over the middle that Juju's so good at doing.
Get down. There's 10. One more sideline before the first half ends. There's 7 yards. Boom.
Boom.
Check that one off the list.
And then you need some like
then a little
third and fives.
Fakes.
Third and fives, you have two receptions by DeAndre Hopkins.
You have a little
Because he
Patrick
gets the further
Mahomes
third
going
downs.
this way option, pitch it to Xavier Worthy around the other side. 7.
See, I'm worried about the shovel though.
This way.
I know. But
I'm worried about the Xavier Worthy pick of this whole thing, man. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Well, me too. I didn't like it either.
I like it.
I did too. But
I do like it. He did it last week. He did it the last 2 weeks.
they're
actually.
going to get him involved.
Yeah, he did the
What's
last.
his over receiving yards?
I don't like that. I like the rushing. 6.5. It's one rush.
They're going to give it to
Potentially.
him multiple times. Like, he's going to get at least three touches. What's going to happen is he's going to get it on the first one. They're going to give it 2 more times. He's going to lose yards and not get over 6.5.
My concern is they give him the reverse. He gets like
30.
no. He
13.
gets like 10, and then they give him another reverse and he loses 4.
Yep. And then we're cooked. That's 6.
That's my word.
And then they put him at quarterback for the tush push.
Yeah, that would not be good.
They snap it between Patrick Mahomes' legs to Xavier Worthy. Loses 15.
What is it? 6.5 yards?
Yeah. I mean, coach, they get him the rock.
What did he get? Let's see.
I mean, he's got in the regular season, he's got 5 games over 6.5 rushing yards.
I don't know. What about the playoffs though?
I mean, if he's done it 3 times in the playoffs, you think there's going to be a 4th? Like, you think they were really going to keep giving that one up? I don't love it. I mean, it could easily happen, too. Like, it could happen
Coach,
easily.
you forget about
I just
corn
don't-
dog left and corn dog right.
I don't know what that play is.
That
Never
won him
heard
the
of it.
Super Bowl last year.
Oh, it sounds like an Ole Miss play or something. I don't know what that
Andy
is.
Reid special. Corn dog.
All right. I'm just saying, man. Whatever.
What do you
It's a
have?
good
What's your
one.
pick?
What is
What's your
that?
pick again?
For DeAndre Hopkins to come from the dead?
Yeah, 2 catches. Man might not even play.
Let's see here.
Okay.
Postseason. Texans.
Texans.
Stats.
Yeah.
Box
DeAndre.
score.
Oh,
Texans, not great.
didn't need him.
One rush, minus 8 yards. Didn't. Not
We
great.
take the under.
Not great.
But they tried.
I already took it. They tried. They gave it to him.
There we go.
They gave it to
Next
him.
game.
Let's go. It's Buffalo, which I know he got. I know he got the over on that one.
6.5.
Hey, boy, I'm just letting you know right now. You got a ceiling of like three opportunities for him to get the rock when it comes to rushing.
He's fast.
Xavier Worthy.
It's gonna be 0 and 3. That's where you got right now.
Buffalo, 2 carries, 16 yards.
Now look at that. That's
Combined for the
Yeah, look at
playoffs, 3 carries, 8 yards.
8 yards.
He's always good.
Over.
So he gonna get it. He gonna get a touch as a rush.
But, I mean,
I know, but at least you know the opportunity.
So he had
there.
5 in the regular season, plus 1 in the
It
playoffs,
is,
plus
yeah.
6. So, you know, he 12 times he didn't get it, 6 times he got it.
That's 50-50.
yeah, I know what bad
However you want to do that.
6 out of 12, 50-50. Might as well bet on the
Oh,
coin
man.
toss.
Yeah,
All right.
But whatever, man. I'm in it, man. We in it.
That's it. All right, let's get to the seggies. Lloyd, mistake of the day?
I am gonna play this with full transparency, not knowing what will happen.
How did
But-
this movie get on the screen? What a great movie. It's the Little Giants.
Oh yeah, that's Icebox.
Yeah, how did that get on? How did that? Oh, it's great.
That is not the mistake of the day. The mistake of the day is this telenovela show that this man, apparently I don't know what the show is, but this is taking, I saw this on Twitter, and it is absolutely taking the world by storm. I guess it's a dating show. So this guy's dating one of the girls, right? And they have a TV set up when they have a house all together. It's like Big Brother, but Spanish. And, buddy, it's tough. He's watching his girlfriend get his cheeks clapped on television. And while it's happening, this man's the commercial.
Oh my God, they actually showed it.
Yeah, they were going back and forth, and this guy shows up back to the reality house or whatever, and there's a part 2. Right, he's banging down the door. People are trying to rip him away from
Oh my God.
her and him and this whole thing. And he's just on the beach at the end going, ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué?
I hate people, dude. That's so bad. And people,
Mistake of the day.
that's so bad.
Put that on television, man.
So, that's great
God,
TV.
that's brutal, dude. Mistake of the day for the whole thing.
All of it.
The whole thing. Give me the curtain calls.
I think that was it.
No. That was a curtain call and a mistake of the
I
day?
think you know what I'm saying.
No, I'll lead it off, man. Good God. Since it's finally gonna happen next year, the first ever pair of brothers to be in the NFL Football Hall of Fame, Sterling and Shannon Sharp.
Pretty awesome.
I think it's actually.
Did you see
Pretty
the
cool.
video of him letting him know?
No, I did not see that one.
Pretty awesome. You should go look at it. It's pretty cool.
I will check it out.
Wait, what'd you say?
I said, did you
I
see
will
the
go check it
video?
out.
See the
But that's
video
it.
of
That's
Shannon
pretty cool.
Sharp telling Sterling Sharp he got in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, wow.
Awesome. Cool. All right. My curtain call. My video's on there. Did you refresh it?
Oh, yes, I do have it.
My curtain call, and this guy could be the curtain call a lot of times. We loved him when he was in New Orleans, loved him in Cleveland. He is now in New Orleans as just showing his personality every single day. They gave him a mic. Fox gave him a mic and said, just go do you. And he has done him, and it has been awesome and very entertaining. And his stock is skyrocketed. I hope they bring him back. They, as in the Saints.
Yeah,
Which
because
they won't.
I don't think there's between he or Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think there's a better fit in New Orleans than this man.
Bro, look at this dude.
Bro, and that's just one of the million that they had. He's been riding around in pedicabs, driving pedicabs. He ran into a horse carriage at some point in his pedicab. He is the best. I would pay money to hang out with him, I think.
I think this is his calling. Like, he doesn't need to play another snap if he doesn't want to. Y'all can give me Tom Brady all you want. Give me Jameis.
No doubt. Love that.
This is like, put him in a booth.
Not even doesn't he know? He needs the
Yeah.
mic and does he needs to do like what Marshawn Lynch is doing for Amazon Prime. Jameis needs to do for whoever wants to hire him to do that.
Jameis, SEC Network's gonna have you doing this.
Relax. Hey, relax.
I believe I can bike. I believe I can bike.
Hey, he can sing now.
I believe I can bike.
Hell no, you can't sing, but you're funny as hell.
He can carry a tune better than I can carry a tune.
I think about it every night and day.
He's unbelievable,
The
dude.
best. The best.
And my curtain call to the great country of Colombia. As
Jesus Christ.
the Colombian president wants to legalize cocaine worldwide, as he should. Cocaine is no worse than whiskey and is only illegal because it comes from Latin America, says Colombian President
Oh, that's right.
Gustavo Petro
That's
during
why
a
it's
live
illegal.
presidential broadcast of a government meeting. Colombia is the world's biggest cocaine producer and exporter. During a 6-hour
No way.
ministerial meeting broadcast live for the first time ever, the leftist president said cocaine is illegal because it's made in Latin America And because it is worse than whiskey, scientists have analyzed this. Scientifically, cocaine is no worse than whiskey, he added, suggests that the global cocaine industry could be easily dismantled if the drug were legalized worldwide. If you want peace, you have to dismantle the business of drug trafficking, he said. It could easily be dismantled if they legalized cocaine worldwide. It would be sold like wine.
So
hell yes, got my vote.
So the United States actually tried that, a state, and the United States tried to say, oh, you know what, to stop the drug epidemic, every drug's legal. We're going to just provide them with a cleaner area, a safer area to administer the drugs. And Portland, Oregon is regretting that decision. They have reversed that decision since they made that.
Different drug.
Giving clean needles to heroin addicts is not going to help them not be heroin addicts.
You just let them.
That's just going to help them. That's going to help them just survive AIDS, not getting AIDS.
Yeah.
Is what that's going to do.
Let people live their life, Michael. If you want to do heroin, do heroin. If you want to do cocaine, do cocaine. You know what gets more done in a day? A crack addict looking for crack.
Not.
Ain't nobody hustle harder.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Now, if you make it legal, maybe they don't work so hard.
Disagree with that.
Hey man, y'all have a good weekend, man.
Yeah. Listen, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Hopefully, y'all bet with us. Plus 1,300. Let's make some money together. That'd be amazing.
Coco said he sent to the DMs his bet slip.
Love that. I love that. I knew he was going to do that. Anybody who's throwing in their own props, I know he's going to join us on our props. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you don't like watching us, but you like listening to us. Anywhere you get your pods. We love y'all. We appreciate y'all. Enjoy this weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Peace.